So in today's video we're going to be learning how to do the two colour cable. So this is in the Retreat collection that is doubled up yarn. So rather than knitting with a single strand, we're knitting with two strands at the same time. So rather than working on a 6.5mm needle, we're actually working on a 12mm needle. So it creates a lovely chunky effect. So this is our two colour cable cardigan, and we're going to be learning how to do the lovely cable pattern running up either side. There is also a one colour version of this cardigan as well, so if you prefer more of a simpler knit, it makes it a little bit easier as well. So to start this cardigan, we work at the bottom with a 2x2 rib, then we'll increase out where the cable is, and the rest of the cardigan is just knit in plain garter stitch, so knitting each side. Then we've got our 2 colour cable working upwards. We've got a slight shaping at the cardigan just at either side of the neck, and we're just going to decrease after the 2 colour cable. So in this video we're just focusing on how to do the 2 colour cable pattern. For the sleeves of the jumper, they're just knit in garter stitch, and then it's got a 2x2 rib cuff. Once you've worked the cuff, you'll increase out to the full width of the sleeve and then just work in garter stitch all the way up. And then the back of the jumper is just a mirror of the front with the 2 colour cable working up either side. So here I've just got a small sample of our 2 colour cable. So we've got the 2x2 rib at the bottom. Then I've worked a whole repeat of the 2 colour cable, and then I've just worked the first 2 rows of the pattern on top. So this is working on 12mm needles, and then you'll be using a cable needle, or what I found I like to use for this was a double pointed needle. So this is a 10mm double pointed needle. I just found this a bit easier than a cable needle, but if you prefer you can use a cable needle. So now we're going to start our first row. So for the first 6 rows we're just working straight across, so they all work the same. So first we're just going to knit up to our cable. And now we've worked to our cable and we're knitting the first 4 stitches of the cable, which is in our main colour. So now we've got to our contrast colour. So we want to take our contrast yarn and just wrap that under the main yarn just to make sure that they're attached together, and then we want to knit across our contrast colour. So when I like to do this, I usually knit 4, and then once I've knit the 4th stitch, what I like to do is just twist the main colour. That's just creating a little loop at the back of the main colour, just so you don't get a long strand of it at the back. So I've twisted that, and then I'm just knitting the remaining 4 stitches. So now we've knit 8 stitches in the contrast colour, and then we want to go back to our main colour again, so just wrapping that under and then knitting the remaining 4 stitches of the cable. And then once we've done this, we just want to knit to the end of the row. So that is our first straight row of our pattern done. So we're going to turn our work to our wrong side row. So first thing we want to do is we want to knit to the start of our cable. So mine's just a small sample, so I'm just going to knit 2, but on the actual cardigan you'll be knitting a few more. So now we're at our cable, so you want to take the main colour to the front of the work, and then we're going to purl 4 stitches in the main colour. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. So now we're up to our contrast colour. Just going to grab that and twist that round, bringing that into work. So that's nicely twisted with our dark grey, so they're attaching nicely. Just want to pull it nice and taut so we don't get any little gaps or anything between the change of colours. So now we're going to purl across, so we're going to purl 8 stitches. So we're going to do my little trick here as well. So I'm actually going to purl 5. I'm just going to twist my contrast with the main colour, and this is just carrying the main colour over the work so you're not getting one long strand of it, because if you get that then it can just pull the yarn and make the knit a little bit ruched. So it just makes it a little bit easier on the back and a little bit neater. So you can just see how it's got a little loop in the middle and it's just carrying that colour over. So we've purled 8 stitches in the contrast now, we've twisted with the main, and then we're going to purl another 4 in the main colour. And then we just want to knit to the end of the row. That's creating our garter stitch either side of the cable. So that's our first 2 rows of patterns. So you'll repeat that 3 times in total, which will give you 6 rows straight. So you can just see here how the grey is coming over and just getting looped over by the contrast colour. So it's just making it a little bit easier, so you're not getting a big loop at the back and it's just kind of tucking it in, just making it a little bit neater. So altogether I've done 4 rows of those straight, so I'm just going to work a further 2 rows exactly the same, and then we'll do our cable. So again, just want to knit to the cable and then knit in 4 stitches of the cable to our contrast colour. So then we just want to wrap our contrast colour, and then we want to knit 4, and you can twist with the main colour just to hold it at the back. So on the right side I usually knit 4 and then do a little wrap at the back, and then on the wrong side I purl 5 and then do the wrap, and that's just because if you do 4 and then 4 it can just kind of carry it up and you can see it from the front. So if you want to do that, just alternate from 4 stitches at the front to 5 at the back, and it makes a really nice finish to it. But I said it's completely up to you. If you'd rather have the long loops at the back, you're more than welcome to, but I just think it makes it a little bit neater. So now I'm just knitting to the end. So now we're just doing the same on the wrong side again. So we're knitting to the start of the cable, then once we're at the cable we want to bring yarn to the front and then purl 4, so now you're now at your contrast colour, and then we want to purl across our contrast colour. Again you can purl 5 and just twist the main colour over and then purl a further 3, or if you prefer just purl 8 and then go onto the main colour afterwards. So now we're going back to the main colour. Just want to twist over and just make sure you're pulling the colours nice and taut at either end. And then you just want to purl a further 4 and then just knit to the end of the row. So in total you should have worked 6 rows straight, and then we will work our first cable. So that is the straight part of our cable finished. So now we're going to work our first cable row. So first thing we want to do is want to knit up to the cable. So now I am at my cable, so I'm working on the next 4 stitches. So grab your cable needle or your double pointed needle and you want to slip the next 4 stitches, so it's the next 4 on your main colour. I'm going to slip it onto our holder and just want to pop that to the back of the work. Then we want to take our contrast, so we're going to knit across these, so we're going to twist them round over, and then we want to knit 4 in our contrast colour. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've now fitted 4 in the contrast colour, so we want to bring our cable needle, and now we're going to knit across our cable needle. So now I want to use back onto the main colour, and knit 4 in the main colour. 3 and 4. So that is the first half of our cable done. So we've just moved where those 2 colours are. So now we're working on the second half. So we're taking our cable needle again and slipping our next 4 stitches. So this time we're slipping the 4 contrast colour stitches, and we want to pop them on the front of the work. And then we're taking our next 4 stitches in our main colour. As we're doing this, if you like to twist the yarn at the back, you just want to twist that first and then knit the next 4 stitches just to carry the contrast colour at the back. 3 and 4. And now we want to bring our cable needle into work. And we just want to knit these last 4 stitches on our cable needle in our contrast colour. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. And that is our cable done. So that's just moving our contrast colour to either side and bringing our main colour into the middle. And then you just want to knit to end using your main colour again. So now we're going to turn the work. So again, we're going to knit to the start of the cable, so we're knitting to the contrast colour. So then we want to bring the yarn to the front of the work, then wrap it with the contrast, and then we're going to purl 4 across the contrast. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So now we're at our main colour again. So we're going to go back into our main colour, just wrapping the yarn again. So bringing that back to the front of the work, and then you're going to purl across 8 stitches in the main colour. Again, if you'd like to twist it like I do, you just want to purl 5, twist the contrast, and then purl a further 3 in the main colour. So now we've purled 8 in the main colour, and we're back to our contrast. So we want to wrap it round and bring our contrast back into work. And then we just want to purl 4 in the contrast colour. And then we want to go back to our main colour, and then you'll just knit to the end of the row. And this is the first 8 rows of our cable done. So it's a 16 row pattern repeat in total. So we want to work a further 6 rows working straight, and then we'll do our second cable. So now we're going to work another 6 rows, so we're just going to speed up as we do that, and then we'll show you how to do the next cable. So we've worked our 6 rows straight. So now we're going to do our next cable. So as usual, we're just going to knit to our cable using the main colour. So now we're at our contrast colour. We just want to pick up our cable needle, and we just want to slip the next 4 stitches onto the cable needle to the back of the work. So that's our 4 stitches. Just pop that in the back. So we want to knit across the next 4 stitches, so we're carrying on in the main colour. So 2, 3 and 4. So now we want to take our cable needle back up and we want to knit across these next 4 stitches using our contrast colour. So just twist our colours round so it's nice and tight and knit into the next 4 stitches. 3 and 4, and that is the first half of our cable done. So we're taking our cable needle again and we just want to slip the next 4 stitches onto our cable needle but towards the front of our work, and we just want to pop that front of the work, and then we want to knit across the next 4 stitches. If you're wanting to twist it as we go, then you want to twist it now. If you don't want to, just knit across the next 4 stitches as usual. So knit across, so 1, 2, 3 and 4. So that's moving our contrast colour back into the middle. So we're taking our cable needle and we just want to knit the 4 stitches off the cable needle using our main colour. And that is the other half of our cable done. And then you'll just want to carry on in main colour and knit to end. And that is our second cable done. So that works out as 16 rows in total. But out of those 16 rows, you've just got your 2 cable rows, and the rest is just work straight, but just switching between the 2 colours as you go.